Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, Subhasis. And it's
Pleasure.
a big pleasure for me to talking with Mr. Kate, a person who has hold a big personality and achievement and history and all. So introducing myself, I am Harish Karki from Nepal, a national referee. So I have some of the questions. So maybe it can be so a bit long, so I hope you will answer them respectively. So my first question is, a couple of weeks ago, a match in Premier League that you have already defined, uh, we all referees, as we know that before any match we all go for inspection. We all go for inspection. So how did Michael Oliver miss that goal line technology inspection before the match? And my another question is that goal line technology affordable in Nepal? And the last one is, it, how can we get connected to PGMOL so that in our country we can develop, we can have referee development programs, so that PGMOL is a big
Yeah.
professional kind of thing. So
Well, I
that's
mean,
all.
the answer to the first the last bit is I've set up a business with a company that is specializes in e-learning platforms. They do schools around the world where school children come on and learn an education. And I've convinced them, and they are now setting up they have set up a platform where we're going to run workshops, we're going to develop various aspects of it. And that aspect is talk to me, we're already talking, so we've opened the door, and anything that I can pass on to you, we will pass on to you. So that's very clear. You're going to give Subarashi your email, and I'm going to then send you material, and then we have a continuous discussion. If that's on a group basis, on a one-to-one basis, that's all available, because I want to help and develop your career.
Yes.
Right. On Michael Oliver missing that particular incident. First of all, the goal line technology system was not set up correctly. So because of COVID-19, there was some element of doubt as to whether the technician arrived at the ground, and actually before every Premier League game, the system is calibrated. The 14 cameras, 7 round each goal, are calibrated, checked, that it goes into the software program. The laptops are all checked, and the communication system from the computer, there's no men involved, there's no people involved in this. This is a completely dynamic electronic system. And as a result of them not setting that system up correctly, the ball that passed over the line very clearly passed over the line. So the next stage is this. One has to ask the question of the referee. He's got so used to use technology, he's not questioning it. Now, every piece of technology that I've owned fails, whatever it is. Either the battery runs out, the power runs out, it fails. So we've got a product here that is absolutely top class in terms of the quality of decision making. But what should have happened is this. The assistant referee, ideally positioned, should have been asked by the referee, what is your opinion of this ball? Because he is amazingly, he's asked not to flag. If you look at the VAR protocols on offside and goal line technology in its usage, they're asked not to flag. They're asked to wait for the outcome. So the difficulty he's got is Is it a goal? Is it not a goal? He's not going to flag. What he should have done is, if he believes the ball's crossed the line and the goal's not given, he should have had, and they should have been told and encouraged, look, if there's a failure in the system and you see it, you've got to cover it. And Michael Oliver, with all his experience, and remember, as a UEFA and FIFA referee, he's encouraged to go to the pitch side monitor. If he was refereeing in Europe, he would have gone to the pitch side monitor. He would have gone to the referee review area and had a look at the screen. If he'd have done that, he would have awarded the goal. Now, the levels of accountability. The levels of accountability, in my opinion, are not with the referee or the assistant referee here. The levels of accountability are with the current boss, the guy who succeeded me at the PGMOL. Because he should have courage and faith in his referees that they're going to deliver. So I always say to referees, look, I've brought in goal line technology. It will support your decision-making process. But if you see something is wrong and you think something is wrong, check it. That was how I used to operate. Check it. You know, if you're worried about time, check it. What we have a watch, don't we? As a referee, law 5, we're the sole timekeeper. But we ask our assistant referees to also have a watch and count us down. So those things are natural within the game. So look, when referees had poor performances when I was the boss of the PGMOL, they wouldn't have a game the following week. And that might, people used to say, oh, wow. But this is no different to a centre forward in a football match. If he's expected to score goals and he doesn't score goals, then he may not be picked for the team the following week. But the reality is this. We have something like 9 newspapers. We have 5 or 6 television companies operating. There are 45 television companies around the world operating, watching Premier League and promoting Premier League games. So, you know, my view is that this error could have been avoided through better management. So sometimes I would say to the referee, I'm not going to give you a game next week. This is not about this one decision. This is actually taking you out of the limelight, taking you away from pressure media in order to ensure not a problem. Because what happens, and what happened to Michael was, his next game, the media are then questioning every decision he makes. Throw-ins, goal kicks, penalties, you know, even though he is, for me, he is our #1 referee. Michael Oliver is our #1 referee. You know, but the people who currently run refereeing in England, look, I've been part of that team, but the people who run it, they favour Anthony Taylor. They like Anthony Taylor better than Michael Oliver. They're both good referees. They're both good referees, you know, but they good referees. You know, what amazes me, if any of you watch Formula One racing, right, all 20 cars that compete are all quality vehicles. They're all top-class cars. Some are just slightly better, seconds better. And this is about refereeing. Refereeing, we're human. And no 2 games are alike. You cannot guess what's going to happen in the next 90 minutes. I went out, having refereed, I went out in the 90s to referee Manchester United against Arsenal. It was top of the list. It was top game. Viewed over 100 countries around the world, 200 countries, took this game, right? And during this game, there was a mass confrontation. 21 players involved in a mass confrontation. And I was blowing the whistle, and I charged in, separated the players And in less than a matter of 20, 30 seconds, all calmed down. And I cautioned two players. And I came off the field and the assessor said to me, Mr. Hackett, you've seen this mass confrontation in front of you. Yes. Why didn't you send a player off? And I said, simple. You tell me, Mr. Assessor, which player do I send off? Which player? Because there were 21 players that were the problem. I have a crowd of 70,000 spectators. I have a television show around the world. So what happens with so many minutes to go? Does the game end and the television company switch off? Does the crowd go home? There's a greater responsibility at the very highest level. And it's these different tiers where we have to educate referees and spectators and players and managers to understand just how important refereeing is at the very highest level. And so when we have levels of accountability, we have to understand that we're actually retraining that referee. Michael Oliver will never make that same mistake. And interestingly, referees around the world will not make that same mistake where goal line technology is involved, because they'll always say could fail. VAR can fail. And this is why, as a referee, if the referee goes to the screen and says to me, I've given that penalty kick, I've had another look, it's a penalty kick, I'm not accepting the VAR, then I'm going with the referee. I'm going with the referee. He's the man in charge. He knows the temperature of the feel of the game. So those are the aspects. So Michael Oliver, look, every referee on God's earth, every referee has made a mistake. What do we do with that error? We learn from it. And then what we try to do is not repeat it. And then when we issue a red card to a player, we say to ourselves, could I have avoided that? Could I have avoided giving a red card? Did I actually approach this player in the right manner? Some cards are direct red cards where you can't impact. But where it's a double yellow, you know, we had a cup final with Anthony Taylor a couple of weeks ago, and he gave a yellow card early in the game to a player, and for me, it wasn't a yellow card offence. It was a discuss the incident, and let's review it as a player. And he could have called the player to him and said, right, okay, I've seen what's gone off. I really want an improvement. No threat of a yellow card, but he gave a yellow. Now later in the game, right, this same player commits what he considers to be another offence, and he issues a yellow, a second yellow, and dismisses the player wrongly. It wasn't a yellow card offence. He gave himself no breathing room. So when we're issuing yellow cards and red cards to players, we have to put value in it. We have to be accurate, right? And we have to learn from those experiences. And every yellow card and every red card, this is why when you do a performance review, you review your performance honestly. You know, don't let it erode your confidence. Could I have avoided it? There's this, I'll send you a presentation on step management, because there is a process in refereeing. There's a quiet word, running alongside the player. Hey, come on, behave. Or, hey, I like that pass. Between you and him, that was a good piece of play. We're not taking any sides here. We're actually opening up a dialogue with a player. Then that player, so you've now got, if you like, a conversation or a discussion or debate, not debate, you're actually have opened up a line of communication. So now he does something wrong. You can say to this player, right, okay, come and join me. I'm now giving you my final verbal warning. Do you understand? I want an improvement. You must improve your behavior. I'm not saying he's going to get a yellow card from the next one. I'm just saying I wanted improvement because I'm keeping my options open as a referee. Next time, he gets a yellow card if he's committed a yellow card offence. And the players around say, oh, come on, referee. You go, listen, I've spoken to him quietly. I've spoken to him publicly. He's taken no notice of me. He's got the yellow card that he deserves. Move on. Step process. We must go.
So sir, I just really want to ask you, the thing was, before every match, referee inspect. So, as I have seen a lot of videos in YouTube and all about goal line technology, before any match, pre-match, during warm-up or anything, they go and check the ball with their watches on the nets. So, is that working or not? But actually, I want to ask about that thing.
No, they don't do that. That is done by the technician. So there is an Hawkeye personnel at the ground before kickoff, and he actually does all the system because it's calibrated, and it's got a calibrated time of kickoff, etc. What you've got to understand about the Premier League is it's been to 211 countries around the world, and the referee, you'll see sometimes the referee standing at the centre circle waiting for the television man to give him the thumbs up for the kickoff. This is because in one game many years ago, the referee kicked off the game 1 minute early, a goal was scored, and in Asia, where there's a lot of betting on games, they switched on and they missed the first goal. And they were not happy. It was the only goal in the game.